Namaste and welcome to Sankalpians, this month's edition of Senior Group Presents podcast A Few Minutes With. We have Colonel Sharath Bhat, who is going to dwell into his professional career's second innings. That is, unlike you would have expected, it is about his post-army service in the corporate world. Sharath's ancestors and his wife too hail from Dakshina Kannada district of Karnataka, but his upbringing has mainly been in Delhi. Inspired from his own father and uncle who had joined armed forces in the pre-independent years, he also joined army with commissioning done in firing guns, observatory post, commanding unit, and various roles in various difficult terrains and borderlines of India, as well as some social unrest areas. After 26 years of service over there, due to an adverse career situation, he had to settle for a less action-oriented roles in Mysore since the year 2004. Because he didn't like the evening golf kind of lifestyle very much, he was restless and looking for premature retirement and explore opportunities in the corporate world. Now let's take on him right from here. Sharath, welcome to the show. I hope I gave an audience a capsule of your first half life. All right, almost all right.
Yes, absolutely, Ravi. I think you have covered it perfect. Let me add here that I was commissioned in the artillery in August 82. I joined for training in August 81.
Okay. Now tell us about perception of the corporate employers about hiring ex-servicemen.
It always pains me when I see corporate world trying to source ex-servicemen only for the roles like security, facility management, administration, HR. I do not know why there is a perception that ex-servicemen, especially commissioned officers, are anyway less than any of the other corporate honchos who can crack any type of market, get into operations. This type of stereotype is not seen in the overseas world. I see in US chief executive officers coming from armed forces who take their company to greater heights.
How did you then come out with an opportunity to realize your wish to go from battlefield to the boardroom?
An excellent question you have asked. Battlefield? Yes. I have seen active battlefield areas right from the borders of Arunachal Pradesh to Baramulla, Uri, to Kargil and Siachen Glacier. And yes, boardroom, the switch happened. I was always deliberating that not progressing in your career, continuing till you superannuate, I felt rest is like rust. If you do not work, you are basically rusting. And
Right.
I was not a person, who would like to go and keep playing golf like all my course-mates who have done, who have superannuated. So I decided, I told my family that I am going to take a premature and get into, irrespective whether I get a job or not. If I don't get a job, always I have a fallback, I'll do agriculture.
Yeah.
But I think God was kind. Somebody saw me in some get together, and that person was so, I don't know, maybe all entrepreneurs have got some sixth sense when they see somebody, decided to call me and gave me an opportunity. And that particular opportunity was, for me, I think I have not seen such down to earth people, entrepreneurs who actually took me in open arms and gave me a chance to head the complete market of their company. And I may be one of the very first and very few people whom they actually traveled to the house and they gave me the appointment order, allowing me to grow their business.
So from the year 2006 till now, the company Keynes Technology has grown many folds in all parameters. Even though you were not an electronic or any kind of engineer, you were PG in commerce and marketing. What aspects of yours in the army experience helped you to overcome initial technical deficiency, if I may say that?
I think it's a very good question because even myself, I had an inhibition that from the arts and commerce background, whether I would understand electronics. And mind you, the company where I work, Keynes Technology, is a contract electronics manufacturing. That means though it's in hardcore manufacturing, but it's in services space. That means you have to go to clients, convince them to give their product to be manufactured in our factory. It's like telling a mother to give their baby to be taken care in a creche. So unless you understand deeply, get into the details of operations, you can never convince the client to give his manufacturing to us. My first and foremost challenge was how to learn. So I had already learnt in the army. Army is very good in teaching you and training you. So I said, let me become like what army taught me, to become a Jawan. Absolutely bare, start from the scratch. So I actually started in this company right from what a worker does. Welding, the processes, the operational role, what type of machines, getting into the machines, understanding the complete process. That detailing, that level of detailing is what helped me. So I will say, openness, my understanding of the job profile, because in the army it is always deep down, has really helped me to overcome this disability.
So that's the knowledge and skills. Now, what other skills or habits you cultivated or honed in the army life were transferable to the civil life areas?
Yes, I think leadership is common. You take it in the armed forces or you take it at the corporate. There are so many employees dependent to feel the success of the company. And the success of the company only comes if the leadership is right. So what army taught me, the first and foremost, you should have integrity. Integrity is very, very important. Your character integrity, your principles of life, you should never flounder. I have always tried to keep my principles intact. Even though when I came to corporate is not hunky-dory. You have to be flexible in certain areas, especially when you are dealing with government. And it was a challenge for me because I am heading the market and I am trying to go and get business. But I evolved myself to not go in areas where such type of demand was there. I kept away from all governmental areas. I wanted to focus only in building business with companies and a very clean business, and that has really helped me. So when you have your character, you have your integrity, the people down below are very, very sensitive. They understand what their boss wants. That was the first leadership rule. My job profile was getting clients into the company, and I was able to deal transparently with them. Second thing is, in the integrity itself, the courage, the conviction of everybody does mistake, but the conviction of telling that yes, you have done a mistake, do not worry about mistakes, and going forward, I have demonstrated it. That gives a huge amount of trust, builds trust in your people whom you are leading. They know that yes, even if we do mistakes, our boss is there who is going to take it on his shoulders. Your shoulders should be big enough to carry the team with you. That's the second aspect. The third aspect has been of ability of taking the decisions. You in army, what happens is you may have best of the plans, best of the strategies, but once the contact with the enemy is made, all the plans go haywire. And the only skill is your leadership to evolve in that situation by taking quick decisions is what takes you through. I have applied it many times in the corporate journey. Similarly, taking care of your people, trying to see that you build your people, mentor your people, bringing it up to their next role. And I have always tried to tell my team, that you should be able to take my powers and you should be able to delegate up to 2 levels down, work 2 levels down. Don't do micromanagement. Micromanagement will not succeed. It is empowerment, delegation, and taking your boss's power is what takes you forward.
Are there any contrasts, let me put it this way, any trait or quality that you had in army, but you have to keep it aside, forego here for success in the corporate world?
Yeah, see, these are two different. In one area of army, life is at stake. You make a decision, there are many people who are going to die. So Army's way is totally hierarchical. There is one boss who gives a order, and that's the decision. He carries that decision throughout his life.
Right.
Whereas in corporate, it's a democratic setup, it's a lateral setup, it's a two-way communication. And you have to respect that, because no decision can be taken in isolation. All inputs have to be taken from your subordinate, from your peer group, from your top, and then make it happen.
Hypothetical question. 26 years in army, then to the boardroom. If you happen to have completed your 35 to 40 years career in the army itself and then retire, then you had aspirations to work in corporate world. Would you have been equally flexible then?
I have seen it happening, that many of my batchmates, course mates, seniors who have tried to take up the second role after their superannuation are not able to adjust to this particular life. Main reason is they have been used to a certain way of life. Their rank is thrust on them. So if they are senior in rank, obviously a brigadier or a general, when they go to the corporate has a different culture. For them, you are Ravi, I am Sharath. And there is no general, there is no colonel there.
Yeah.
And the deliverables are there for everybody to see. Your value is not on your rank. That's your past. Your value is what you bring on table and what you demonstrate. And if you are not able to do, you are nothing. That concept, somehow when you superannuate with all those years of giving orders and enjoying the paraphernalia of army, somehow I feel that it will be difficult for somebody to adjust.
I think you partly answered this my previous question, saying communication two-way, it's difficult for them to adjust.
Yeah, I have a live, in fact, case. I brought one of my unit officers. I brought in my company, and he was coming with the same bag and baggage, and I realized that for him, that bag and baggage is more important than thinking retrospectively that what he as an individual can add to the corporate life, and he was not able to adjust. Adaptability can only happen at the younger period of life.
Yeah, I think post superannuation from any field for that matter, I think we have to redefine our roles and settle in the new society. Retirement life can be hard in many ways for many people.
Yeah, I would like to only add one thing, that even after coming to Sankalp, we came in 2010, both myself and my wife Bhagwati, and we have always been active inside our community, trying to see. I'm not one of those guys who will try to only advise. I would like to actually be in the action and see what I can do for the community.
Okay.
I have been the vice president many times. I have also been the president. And I feel that each one of us out here in the community should, age is not the criteria. They should actually take the role to see that how our community can become more and more vibrant.
So more than advice and commanding, it's action.
Action. And I really respect what you are doing.
Thank you very much, Sharath. Complex question you answered in a quite simple way. Hope the listeners will like this.